When are you faced with a certain problem, whatever it is, what would you do to solve the problem? You may try to define what the problem is by searching the information that the problem indicates, and then to find a way to solve it by using your own strategy and knowledge relevant for the problem. However, after you apply your strategy to the problem, if you fail to solve it, what can be your next action? Imagine that you are a 5-year-old boy and you make Play-Doh by mixing flour and water. However, after finishing the process, you may try to figure out, after then, you found out the dough is so watery, too much water in there. After then, what are you supposed to do? You may try to figure out what mistakes you made and then fix it. To make new decision about how to make the dough, you need to recheck the whole process that you followed. Likewise, a problem solver is required to keep monitoring his or her problem-solving process, not only to follow the processes as planned, but also to find mistakes that affect the consequence. However, many researchers show that young children are quite limited in their knowledge and cognition about cognitive phenomena, or in their metacognition, and do relatively little monitoring of their own memory, comprehension, and other cognitive enterprises. Also, August Flaubert and Clift argues the reason why younger children easily fail to exhibit their problem-solving process in the problem situation is that they cannot remember how they made an inferences. In other words, poor comprehension monitoring causes failure of problem solving. Accordingly, it is difficult for young children to monitor the entire problem solving process without any mediation tools. One of representative social constructivist, Vygotsky, defined the concept of mediation as successful learning tool. According to Vygotsky, language, sign, and symbols are used as a mediation tool that develop human higher mental processes such as interpersonal skill, self-regulation, and problem solving. Especially comparing to speech, an image can be seen as a whole and simultaneously. Donator and McCormick pointed out that for Vygotsky, the source of mediation was either material tool, a system of symbols, notable language, or the behavior of another human being in social interaction. At this point, visual images from the video are worth as the source of mediation. They do not only function as a system of symbols, but also provide the behavior of another human being through the video. This image produced by a 5-year-old boy. By using the picture, he could remember how he played with his favorite toys and his older sister. Children understand the world from the visual images that they receive. However, if children do not have any visual aid, it is possible for them to forget or feel difficulty to recall the moment from their memory because of the limited their memory span. Also, children might not be able to realize what they see if they look at somewhere without consciousness. Besides, human eyesight has limitation of distance and perception, so that it is possible for them to miss lots of information essential for problem solving. Video monitoring enables us to overcome physical limitations so that we can help children's learning. According to Foreman, instance video revisiting is a technique in which the children watch the videotaped observation of their learning experience. The research describes how children observe and monitor their own behavior through a video clip. He argues the video revisiting is the strategy to help children increase both quantitative and qualitative of play by providing the moments causing their cognitive confliction. In this manner, the video frame serves as monitoring tools for the children's construction of knowledge. Also, video image will function as an analytical tool for educators and allow them to analyze their interaction. Therefore, the video monitoring might be the effective teaching strategy for teachers and learning tools for children in terms of their functions of representation. Based on this assumption, the video monitoring could be applied as a mediation tool to support children's learning. The purpose of this study is to reveal the role of video monitoring to develop children's magnetic force concepts, and the following questions are proposed in this study as follows. First, does video monitoring influence children's concept of magnetic and non-magnetic substance? Second, does video monitoring influence children's concept of magnetic force? Third, does video monitoring influence children's concept of magnetic permeability? Next step, Nara will explain the method and the result of the study.
Hi, my name is Nara. I want to talk about our participants and the method, how to we do in this research. We just Youn Jung is talk about how we our background knowledge and then other differences. And now I just talking about how we design this research. It is a very short term research, but just we think it is might be case study for the further research. So it is our participants is a 4-year-old 50 participants, and then 25 video monitoring group, and then 25 conference group in the preschool in South Korea. So actually I want to talk about why we choose a 4-year-old, because at that time we want to focus on the magnet activity. So materials is we give them to 2 bar magnets, and then the other magnetic substance is 7 magnetic substance, and then 8 non-magnetic substance. This is we actually designed to access children's magnetic force concept in pre and post test. So this checklist is created by the Shin and Kwon's study in 2006 in Korea. So it is included 3 sub-categories. So and first concept is to find out what object is magnetic or non-magnetic substance. But just a pre-test, we just let the young children just organize, categorize what object is magnetic, or what object is non-magnetic. Don't touch, just organize, just sort them. And then second task is to find out which part is the strongest in the bar magnet. As you can see, bar magnet has the strongest part, and then less strongest part they have. So we allow them to touch which part is the strongest one. So we want to know about their concept of the magnetic force concept in the before the magnetic activity. And then after magnetic activity, we talk about that later. After magnetic activity, we want to examine their post. We want to test their magnetic concept, how they change it. So first concept is the same in the previous test, but second concept task is a little changed, because we want to let them see how magnetic force is how strong is the magnetic power. So we using the lucid bottle, and in the bottle is a key in there, and we just let them to the how can key moved using the magnetic. So they may be using the in this side or the that side or the middle of them. So do you think which part is the strongest? The moving the key is over there, so or the come out. So they using the which part is the strongest. They can explain using the magnetic. So, and the last task is only in the post test because we want to see how they developed their magnetic, the concept of magnetic force. So this is a magnetic permeability. What is magnetic permeability? Actually, I didn't know that before this study. So permeability is what materials will magnetic force pass through. So we asked them 2 questions we actually did. So one question is how to make a piece of cloth. Actually, the blue one is a cloth. Piece of cloth attached to a bar magnet by using magnetic force, not by your hand. So they choose a 15 object, not non-magnetic or magnetic object. They choose one of them, and then they can make they stick together, and then they think it is stick together. So the piece of cloth can attached to the magnet. They think of that. And then the other question is how to make a key. Actually, it is 2 kind of the questions. So actually, without the piece of the cloth, how to make a key not attached to a bar magnet by using magnetic force, not by your hand, not attached. So they put some non-magnetic object put between the key and magnetic bar. It is our question. So it is focused on the magnetic permeability. So it is our procedure. So actually, after free test, we divided 2 groups, but just only difference is the video monitoring and bubble recalling. So as you can see, first stage is planning the activity before magnetic activity, and 5 minutes exploring the 15 objects in 2 bar magnet. This is the first time they touch it after pre-test. At the pre-test, we don't let them to touch the magnet or the object, but that time they touch it and exploring very freely. And then actually that time the researchers videotaped their behavior, how they play with the magnet and object, and then we show them the video clips with them and talk about what they think and what they saw. So how do you think? We talk about the 8 minutes. And comparison group, they didn't do it. Just verbally we talk about how do you think, how do you record, what do you do before? So they just thinking about I do something magnetic, play with the magnet. They think about that. And then we try one more time, just try experiment thing. Just try a new thing. Try one more time magnetic activity. So we just give them 5 minutes more. And after that, 10 minutes we post test. So it is the second one is a magnetic force concept, and then non-magnetic, organized non-magnetic and magnetic object. And then last one is a magnetic permeability. At the time, solve the problem. So they using their strategy to solve this magnetic force concept problem. So next is so result is indicate that the video monitoring had more positive effects than the bubble recalling on children's magnetic force concept development. Obviously, at the finding of the study were as follows. So I just want to skip this, and just in my conclusion is I want to talk about the in the view of Vygotsky, argue that introducing and using instruments cause a change in development. So we think maybe the video technology is one of learning instruments that stimulate children's reflective thinking and self-monitoring. Just we think about that. So let me give one example. Video monitoring group in this research group showed magnetic substance and non-magnetic substance better than the comparison group after they saw the video monitoring. It is very obvious they can do. But just I heard that while monitoring video frames, they said, is experiment groups, children said, such as why the object is not attached to the magnet. They said about that in soldier they doing their magnetic activity. So I think this moment is maybe make them to think about reflectively or critically think about their activity. Yeah. So they might be. We actually they mostly they have in before the pre-test. We just figured out that through the pre-test they have a misconception of magnetic force concept. But just after magnetic activity, and they saw the video monitoring, the children in the experiment group realized that it is a misconception. So they want to try to change their thinking, and they change it actually. But just even if they saw they can change the error or they fix them, the comparison group children mostly they cannot change it. They didn't change it at all. They just normally do the same thing in the post test. I think it's very amazing. They saw that they're acting, so I think it's very. They didn't see that. Just thinking. So anyway, so what happened to them? I just thinking is maybe Piaget said the reflective thinking can be developed as a child consciously reviews the problem-solving process by asking oneself why he or she performs the task successfully or not. So video monitoring is enables the children in the experiment group to reflect not only their external behavior, but also their thinking process. So I thinking that's why this vision monitoring process may lead them to infer the answer of the task magnetic permeability rather than the verbal recalling group could do. So that's why it is a result is changed. So we just only did just a 30-minute activity. Actually, video monitoring is 8 minutes. And then just 5 minutes is one more try of the magnetic activity. So it is very short time, but just the result is very radically is a difference. So we want to recommend it is a very short-term study. So we suggest that more longitudinal studies should be performed in order to investigate the effects of the video monitoring on children education. And besides, we also recommend to examine what kind of discourse in children's life in the real classroom will be generated during the video monitoring. So we want to see more than that. Thank you. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, just yeah.
Could you go back a couple slides so we can see your results?
Yeah. We actually do the ANOVA test, so just 3 tasks in the both task of the magnetic force concept and the non-magnetic or magnetic categorizing and the magnetic permeability task. They saw that all of them is a higher ascending statistically frequency than the comparison group. So, but just but it is just 50 children, so it is very short. Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting study. Okay. So I just want to confirm they spent 5 minutes with the video monitoring and someone was talking with them during the video monitoring. The other group, someone was just talking.
Mm-hmm.
what do you think would happen? So, and your theory is that the child is, through this video monitoring, is getting to reflect on themselves or become more, do more meta monitoring of themselves, or see themselves as a third person object or something like that. What do you think would happen if you had, in a comparison group, a video of another child that the person was talking through? So you've got video conditions, but it's not the self that's being made aware or conscious within the interaction, but just another child going through similar activities. What do you think would happen? Or how would you argue it one way or another?
Do you want to talk?
I'm sorry, do you want, I know your English is not your first language, so forgive me, do you want me to try
Yeah, so
again?
you want to compare with they are very, let me explain one more time. So they are same condition you're saying about the same activity.
So what I'm wondering is it the video
Yeah.
or is it the fact that the child himself or herself is on the video? So my question is, if you had a condition where it was another child that was being watched with the interaction, what do you think would happen? Do you think it is, you can construe this different ways. It might be more time on task with the video, so it would have equal effect. Or you might think it's something to do with looking at yourself from a distance, in which case your video monitoring condition with the child, him or herself, should be more effective than if it was another child that the child was watching. So I think you could do really interesting things.
I have a thought on this. As the other work we're doing in our lab right now in autism has a lot to do with self-monitoring versus other monitoring. We're doing EEG tasks, and we have some behavioral tasks where we're measuring skin conductance. And mirror neurons is a recent discovery, right, where you learn about other people because you have these neurons that are like me neurons, and if you see someone else doing something, it's the same in your brain as if you're doing it yourself. And so learning to interact with other people and learning to learn requires a lot of matching of self states versus other states. And so we're actually finding a disconnect in autism between self-monitoring and other monitoring, and that they can monitor other people okay, but have a hard time monitoring themselves. And I think from other work in video monitoring that my guess would be that there is an enhancement of watching yourself do it, rather than just watching someone else, because it brings you in and it gets that whole imitation system going. That would just be my guess. That's sort of
It's my guess too, but I think it would be a great study.
Yeah, actually, I did the very similar study in the other study I did. It is it reminds me to think about my research. I did video monitoring with the kids. They monitored the other people's behavior and themselves. So I actually she is focused on the metacognition, problem solving strategies, but just I'm focusing on the theory of mind. How can they socially, emotionally behaving, and then how they think about the reflectively or themselves, by themselves, they think about the other's emotion. So I wanna using the video monitoring. So we did. So they saw the other behavior and themselves. They really looking at the other's behavior in conflict situation. They didn't in comparison group. They didn't memorize the other's behavior or the other's feeling. Just they guessing, whether pretending to guessing, but just while monitoring video frames, they really feeling very empathy. They saw that they're crying or themselves a very selfish action. They saw that, so they feel like themselves make the other selves. Like you say that they make some distance screen and themselves like that. They saw themselves, but not themselves. They saw themselves like the others. and then they saw that their themselves behavior, bad thing they do, they think, oh, it's not good thing. So they evaluate themselves very naturally. So I think video monitoring in this sense might be self-evaluation strategy for them, because they cannot memorize everything, you know. And then we just said to them, you did bad thing at that time. But they cannot even remember. But just they pretend, okay, I did bad thing, I'm sorry, okay, I'm sorry. The others pretend to understand the others' feeling, but just they saw the very, you know, that they miss it. They saw the something they missed it, so they realize, oh, okay, I did bad thing. Yeah, it's very good
The same is true
question.
with performance athletes.
I'm sorry?
The same is true with performance athletes. They review their dives.
Right, right.
So there's a basic principle.
Yeah. I'm really into it, so I want to see more. The other questions? Thank you for listening.